want to go higher, baby, you're in the right place. You're listening to One Life Radio. This is Bernadette with Danny Miles, and we've got two special guests in studio today. And of course, it's, you know what, it's Maura Davies Day as well. But we've got Tal and Nicole. They're awesome. They co-founded the StrongestMom.com. We're going to be talking about fitness and all the stuff that goes along with it later.
Come my lady, come my lady, you're my butterfly, sugar, baby. Come my lady, come my lady, you're my butterfly, sugar, baby. Such a sexy.
Welcome back to One Life Radio. This is Bernadette with Danny Miles, and we've got Tal Franklin in studio and Nicole Maurizi, and yeah, that's her last name. Her husband's Italian. And you know what? These guys have co-founded the StrongestMom.com, and I have to tell you, Nicole looks amazing. She is the strongest mom. She's got more energy, I think, than I do. She bounces off the walls like I do, and you know, that's a great thing about fitness. People don't realize if they're not super fit, it gives you so much energy that you get so much more done. You're so much more productive. You know, you just get a lot more done, and you feel so good mentally. So you know, let me tell you all about Nicole Maurizi. So she is the co-founder of the StrongestMom.com. It's a brand and website are owned by Russ Fitness, a private LLC, co-founded in 2013 by friends Nicole and Tal, who are here in studio. And so Nicole is a regular full-time mom that developed a video program for women based on her prior experience as a fitness professional. Nicole is a full steam, is at full steam. She runs it at full steam, taking you through the exercises the entire time and demonstrating during the breaks. And it just really helps moms, which of course helps dads, which of course helps raise healthy children, because it is a trickle down from the top, absolutely, in a household. So Nicole and Tal, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bernadette.
And so, you know, when we were on break, we were talking about, you said you were going to bring a medicine ball with me and get me to exercise. I wish you had. And I have to say, you know, most of our audience is male. Okay, that's the demo of talk radio. And you know, I think men, I really feel sorry for them in a way, and moms too, because like say after you have a baby and you're a few pounds overweight and you're taking care of the baby and he's taking care of, you know, bringing the bacon home, and you're trying to survive. You're trying to run this family. And so often, you know, women and men both will gain a little bit of weight and they really don't know where to start to how to get fit again. But it adds so much to their marriage when both people in the house and the whole family is fit. And that's what we're here to talk about today. So, you know, you look amazing. You are healthy. You are happy. You've got 4 children. So how do you do it all?
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. And we're humbled to be here and are super excited to be a part of the show. You know, we believe that classic traditional exercises are the way to get it done. It's a combination of weight bearing, strength training, and you add some aerobics to that to elevate your heart rate. And that's really going to help you maximize your results and be efficient when you're doing your workouts.
Well, and your video, I have to say, is really, it's very palatable for anyone. And it doesn't matter if you're 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight. You can get started. You can get started, you know, today. You can get started fixing your fitness level so you can, you know, have a happy life. It's so important, you know, and I think that men really don't know how to broach the subject with a woman and vice versa. If you long for that person to be fit again, not just their body, but their mind, because it is indicative. The two go together.
By the way, I'm looking at the website right now and looking at all the videos. Cool
it's
stuff.
Awesome. Huh?
Cool stuff.
I know. It really, really is. And when I got turned on to these guys, I'm like, I want to have them on the show. I really do, because, like I said, I think that so many men and women struggle with this topic and how to broach it with one another. And so, what do you suggest if the guys out there listening, if they've got a wife that they really want to get fit again, maybe they didn't gain the baby weight, what do they say to her without like upsetting the apple cart?
That's a great question. And, you know, there's that old expression, happy wife, happy life. And
I've never heard that, but I like it. What about a husband? What about
Tal?
Tal, you got one for a husband? We're not going to pick on women here.
I don't have one for us.
You don't have
They didn't
one?
come up with that.
Well, and I think women do have it a little harder though, because we're the ones that bear the babies, and and when you bear babies, you.
As a mom of 4, that time of having a baby, you're so vulnerable. And
You are.
And you're sleep deprived, and you just
Which makes you fat in itself.
it does.
When you're not getting enough rest,
And
you hold
your
on to body fat.
Absolutely. And your stress is elevated, and there's so many hormones that are coming in and out of your system at this time. It's so important for a mom to be able to find something that is a positive outlet for her. And I think if the husband approaches it in that way,
There you go.
that might not say, oh, I'm reflecting on how you look physically, but I'm more concerned about your emotional state of mind.
Okay, so go ahead,
I'm sorry.
Danny.
Did you bounce back pretty quickly after your first kid, second kid? Because was there a pregnancy that was worse than the others, harder to bounce back from?
That's the no, it wasn't harder to bounce back. What I tried to do is stay fit through the pregnancy.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And so when you get past that stage and you bring your baby into this world, then you're not as likely to have a harder time to bounce back.
Right.
But it does change with each pregnancy because your time is divided between your other children that you have, your other commitments, and your busy life in general.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So both of my babies, I gained 17 pounds each pregnancy, and each one of them weighed 6 pounds and 5 ounces. But I exercised throughout my whole pregnancy, and it made a huge difference. Now, I did have trouble with baby number 2 losing the extra 10 pounds. Baby number 1, I was, I had my first one, and I was right back in my skinny jeans, like literally a couple days later. And I think that's just the nature of the beast, though, sometimes with the first baby. Your body is not, it's more adaptable, I think, at first. And maybe, that having that second child or third or fourth adds so much more stress to your life. I mean, you have less time. You've got more babies. You've got less time. But let's turn this around. I want to, if someone wants to look their best and be healthy as can be, what should they start doing? What should they be doing?
We really believe in the classic traditional exercises are the way to get it done. A combination of weight-bearing and strength training exercises and finding a way to include aerobics with that to elevate your heart rate is really going to help you get the results that you want and to be able to do it in a minimal amount of time.
And do you believe doing the weight bearing, because we hear all different opinions on this show every single week. Do you believe that doing the weight bearing exercises and some aerobic activity together in the same workout is the way to get it done?
Absolutely. And when you maximize your time spent doing a particular group of exercising and you actually put them together in the right combination, you're going to be able to maximize your results in the least amount of time. And we're all trying to get the biggest bang for our buck when we're doing something. And being able to have the right sequencing with the right combination of exercises and the types of exercises that you do is really going to allow you to help achieve that success.
What are your favorite exercises? Because let me just tell you guys out there listening, you should see this woman's body. You should see her legs. She's got amazing legs. Wouldn't you agree, Danny?
Yep.
Well,
I saw you checking her out on the elevator.
No, I have to. Husband's here.
Her husband's like a real big Italian guy. You better watch out.
Well, I got a question for you.
Sure.
In far as it's so intimidating because after the holidays, you already blew your resolution after 1 week, and now we're closing in on swimsuit and bikini weather. You're looking at yourself in the mirror and you go, where do I start? And then you turn on the TV and you see all these insanity, the boot camps, and that it's intimidating. And I guess it's just basically just take baby steps, right?
Absolutely. It is really intimidating, and there's so much information out there. We often recommend that the best program is the one that you're going to stick to.
Right.
And so find a program that really works with you, whether it be you are restricted with time or you're restricted with travel or you're restricted with your equipment that you have at home. Find something that's going to work for you, that you're passionate about, and stick with it.
Well, and I think you just need to not overthink it. Just get started. Even if it's something as simple as putting that baby in a baby carriage and putting one foot in front of the other and just start walking, whether it be the father or the mother, but just get out there and do something. Go, even if you're at Target getting, household supplies, whatever, pick up some kettlebells. They sell all kinds of stuff, fitness equipment at both, Walmart, Target. You don't have have to be intimidated by going to a fitness, a specific fitness store that sells fitness equipment. It doesn't have to be that difficult.
Absolutely, it doesn't. And you do want to make it accessible to you. And one of the biggest things that you really want to pay attention to is actually when you're doing a program to make sure that you're using proper form with whatever exercises that you're doing.
Yeah.
Proper form is so essential that people often don't understand why, but really when you use great form, you're going to get great results.
Yeah, like your legs. Seriously, I'm serious. And it's true. You can tell that you use great form just by what your body looks like. It's absolutely obvious. And, but a lot of people too, and I made this mistake. Again, we were talking about having babies after my second baby because I was so short on time, just scrambling, trying to get everything done, grocery shopping, cooking, taking care of, the lawn, all kinds of stuff. And so, I got into the stupid habit, and it was of getting on the elliptical every single day. And tell us what that does.
So when you're on an elliptical or you're doing the same type of exercise
or
every
treadmill,
single
I did
day,
that too.
Exactly, or the treadmill, you're not building muscle.
Right.
And so what muscle is so important for is that it actually burns more calories, it increases your metabolism, and even when you're at rest. So you need to find a program that's going to allow you to build muscle. And doing the elliptical or running every day, you simply don't get the benefit of burning fat when you're at rest. If you're doing the same thing every day, your body will plateau.
Right. That's exactly what happens.
And so you do need to have this combination exercise program where you actually have some weight bearing and strength training exercises incorporated into it.
I mean, it's better than nothing, but I think a lot of people just make that mistake. They think that, and like I said, it is better than nothing, but you got to have the weight bearing exercise.
How many times do you go to the gym and you see the same person on the same
That's what I
apparatus
mean.
at
Yeah.
the same time, and then darn well in 45 minutes she or he will get off that apparatus and go to another. It's like clockwork. And I imagine I've said before, it's like muscle memory, isn't it? Your muscle starts to get, it's normal.
Absolutely. Your muscles will acquire the same habits that you do. And, you had mentioned earlier of the importance of just doing something. And that's absolutely so true.
Mm-hmm.
Just get up and get moving. Get moving, because so many of us, if it's an intimidation factor, then talk to somebody or ask some questions and see if you can find a program that's working for somebody else that you agree with and try it.
Well, and the depression rates in this country have never been higher. Depression and anxiety, it's like it is off the charts in this country. So many people are on medication for it. And the non-physical benefits of exercise are absolutely astounding, are they not?
They are, and it's countless.
You know what? Yeah, we're going to talk more about that. We're going to go to Dr. Mike Fenster, and when you and Tel talk more about this, at the last quarter, we're going to we break this up like a football game. We're going to be talking more about that because I don't think people really understand how incredibly powerful exercise is for the mind, which is what's running it. You're listening to One Life Radio. We've got Dr. Mike Fenster coming up. We'll be right back.
That rock and roll, that future flow, that digital spit, next level visual. I got that boom, boom, boom. How to beat bang.
Welcome back to One Life Radio. I can't wait to get out of this studio today and go exercise. I'm pumped up from being around all these fit people. This is Bernadette with Danny Miles, and I've got Tel Franklin in studio and Nicole Marizzi, and her husband's Italian. You know there's two kinds of people in this world, right, Nicole?
Here we go.
I do.
Oh my gosh, I love saying that. But we were talking about fitness, and you guys are the founders of the StrongestMom.com, and where you find strong moms, you find strong families, because it is a trickle down from the top. And if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Have you ever heard that?
I've heard that.
I remember the first time I saw that when I came to Texas about 20 years ago, and I was in a Black Eyed Pea, and they had a sign up on the, how they have all that decor kind of, just all over the place. Not my style, but I was like, it said, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. And I thought, I never forgot it. I thought it was really funny because it is true. And that goes for dad too. And it's so important as a family that you stay fit so you can have the most successful life and raise good, healthy children. And part of it too, and so before we were talking about fitness and what it does to the mind, and we said we'd come back to it, so we are. What is tell our listeners, if you would, both of you, what are the benefits of the mind?
Well, I've had an exercise mantra forever, and it's exercise is for my sanity. It's not for my vanity.
And I should say for the mind. And I have the same thing. I think I would have been crazy years ago. Like seriously, if I did not exercise every day, it immediately puts me in a happier mood. If I have any anxiety.
More crazy?
It puts me in a better mood. It makes me feel like I'm in control of my own destiny and my life. It lessens anxiety, and it just makes you feel better. You look in the mirror. If you look good, you're going to feel good, and vice versa.
Absolutely. And, when you have a positive self-image about yourself, you're just going to go out and resonate that with everybody that you come in contact with. And it starts within your family, and it trickles down, like you said, with your husband, with your children, and with your neighbors in your community.
Well, and I was thinking when Dr. Fenster was talking earlier, we're so quick to grab a prescription drug from our doctor for things that we all suffer with. And number one thing, on my mind really is depression. So many people, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't. If you're severely depressed, yes, you do need help sometimes. We all need to get by with a little help from our friends, our prescriptions, whatever. But at the end of the day, when it comes right down to it, you have to get out and work your body and work your mind in order to really feel good about yourself and lessen that depression naturally, because you can't take pills for the rest of your life. You have to be proactive about it. And, Tal, you bring an interesting perspective to this because, as I said in the beginning of the broadcast, so many men really don't know how to broach this subject with their wife and vice versa. It
Do I look
goes
fat
both
in
ways.
this? Do I look fat in this?
I know.
What's your response?
You know what?
You look great,
Yeah.
Danny.
Yeah.
You look
do.
wonderful.
Well, and you know what? If someone has, I always say, when I do that to myself, I'll do it to my daughters. Just, do I look fat in this? I'm like, there's my answer to my question. If you're having to ask, do I look fat in this? The answer is always yes. And you know it instinctively, and you should use that to get your body moving. But Tal, this is, a great male perspective to the company that you guys co-founded. Let's talk about the importance of supporting the woman, the lady in your life, to make time for fitness. How does a man do that?
Sure. And I think one thing that's really important to know and was eye-opening to me when we started this whole thing and I got around all these moms was how vulnerable and lonely it is for a woman to have a baby.
Oh, yes.
And to, take care of that baby.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, the baby doesn't talk.
Right.
Right. And the mom is going to be the primary caregiver with a new child, typically. And so the baby can't talk. No one says, thank you, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a very lonely time. And
your
I'd like
hormones are
actually-
all over the place, and you're feeling fat, and your husband and you are not being intimate. I mean, it's a very difficult time in a marriage, or even for a woman, even if she's a single mother, raising a child alone is a very, very difficult task.
That's incomprehensible to me. Because
Yeah. It's so much work to raise a healthy child.
Unbelievable. And, I really admire moms who are able to do that. In terms of supporting your partner's fitness, I mean, one of the things to just start with is what you said. Let's go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get that stroller out and let's just walk together.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge. And then the second thing is, you got to communicate, which sounds trite, but that's the reality of it.
Right.
And you've got to be able to say, listen, I want you to be in the best shape you can be in. I want you to be fit, and I want to help you by making time for you to do that. Because with a new baby, she's not going to have time. And so you've got to be proactive and say, look, I'm going to carve out time. I want to take care of the kids for a little while you go for, go do whatever fitness activity you want to do.
Well,
right?
and women can do this with men too. If you've got a husband that's a little, overweight or starting to get a little chubby, through the middle, you can go get a medicine ball or whatever and say, honey, let's play, And
Absolutely.
you can, we talked about it yesterday. Plato says that you can discover more in an hour of play than you can in a year of conversation. And you can have fun doing it by, taking your husband by the hand and say, come on and, work out with me, or let's go walk and let's take the baby for a walk. Let's take the dog for a walk, right?
Right,
After
and
the game.
Right.
And what?
After the game.
Or during the game, you can get a treadmill.
Yeah, or have a beer with them and then go running afterwards, whatever it takes.
But and that's the last two components is planning, trying to make a plan and do what you can, as Nicole likes to say. And then the final thing is compliment. Just, say, look, I think it's great that you got an opportunity to go out there and run today, or, give positive feedback for what they're doing, because, based on what I've learned, moms really need to hear that right after they've had a baby.
Yeah.
It's so important, because no one, as I say, no one's saying thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And mostly people are just either offering a bunch of advice about how they should be doing something differently, or, you hear a lot of criticism as a new mom, I think, and people don't realize that. And I think it's really important for your listeners, as you say 75% men, to realize that, because that was something I didn't know. And
what do you think? What else do you think that men don't really realize when it comes to their wives or girlfriends?
We know everything.
Yeah, Danny.
That's why I'm single.
Unfortunately for me, I'm not that insightful. So, this is the stuff I've learned so far about new moms. I'm working on learning more about what else men don't know.
Yeah, Nicole,
I'll
what
come
do you
back
wanna
on the show and when I discover the rest of it.
Work in progress we are.
Exactly.
I think it's just empathizing with what your wife is going through, and actually sitting down and just listening, listening to the noise in the background. So often it's so overwhelming, but yet women find a way to tune that out, and they make up this wall around them. But then when the husband sits in and listens, they're like, wow, how do you really deal with all of this all day long? Just doing carpool or getting to and from activities. And I think that when we have an opportunity to listen to one another and be present in that moment, it really shows that amount of support that you get from your spouse. And it doesn't take a lot. I think just making those small little efforts really helps solidify that relationship. And you're both on the same side of the field. You're both working together to try to incorporate these healthy options for your family: fitness, eating well. Studies show that when you exercise and eat healthy, your kids will as well. And kids that are in good physical shape have a tendency to score higher on tests. They get better grades. And so this isn't just about me or just about him. This is really, we're a role model for our kids and our family. So it's really about them as well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think that women need to understand too that men have their struggles out there. They're out there, and if you're a stay-at-home mom, I mean, can you imagine? And I did this too. Raising babies and working is very difficult. But men have their own set of issues that they have to deal with, the pressures that they have to deal with. They do, and at the end of the day, like you said, it's all about just communication. It's one of the greatest keys to success. Play hard together, work hard separately, but come together at the end of the night and just listen to one another.
Positive feedback. If if you're losing weight or you're trying to lose weight and you think you're going nowhere, and the other person thinks that, just say, "Wow, have you lost weight?"
Yeah.
It's amazing how. No, seriously, it's amazing how that positive feedback
Absolutely,
wants
Danny.
to get your butt back in the gym.
Well, you're so,
I know,
what?
insightful.
You're got a lot of wisdom there for being a single guy. Seriously. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm headed to the stadium and I'm going to work it as hard as I can. I love working out. It makes me feel great. And I thank all of you for listening. I love doing this show. You know what? You get one body, you get one mind, and you get one life. Get out there today and make the most of it.